So I've continued working on my painting. You guys should still be working on yours. So some things I want to think about more is playing around with perspective. Like on someone's nose, if it's pointing to the side, we might see like one of their nostrils. But in some of the images you guys noticed in the slide presentation, sometimes we would actually see both of them, even though we weren't supposed to. So that's another detail we might include in there. Up here I'm putting lines that I'm repeating that would sort of show the hair. On one side, I did those straight diagonal lines. On the other side, I'm doing wavy lines. The perspective does not necessarily have to match because we're playing around with some of these rules. So what you'll do now is you can actually start filling in some of your shapes with different colors. So let's say I decide this is going to be yellow inside of here, which means maybe I'll use that yellow somewhere else, showing the idea of repetition to balance things out. But then some of you may not have a lot of paint available to you. So I'm going to show you a little trick. If I take this water-based marker and I say, okay, well I drew this with markers, but then I'm going to take the marker, I'm going to fill in part of the shape, but not necessarily the whole thing. Since this is water-based, what I can do is I can take my brush, even though I'm not using paint, and I'm just going to use a clean wet brush. When I touch it to the water-based ink, it'll actually activate that, and it'll start to move it around a little bit as paint. So as you guys are seeing, it's kind of starting to move across there a little bit. You have to work kind of quickly, because if you don't, then the marker will have too much time to dry. So that's something that you could do. If you don't have paint, you might not have paint brushes. So if you don't have a paint brush, you could take a Q-tip or maybe a napkin, sort of twist it at the end to give yourself a point. Dip that in water, take that and apply that to the edge of those marker lines as a paintbrush as well. So I look forward to seeing what you guys email me when you're finished with your Cubist portrait. We're actually going to build on this next time, and we're going to do more of a 3D version of this. All right, good luck.